Buddy.
Hello, sorry about that, guys and dolls. And I'm not even joking. My dog kicked over my Wi-Fi. So he like walked out the kitchen, knocked over my router, killed my Wi-Fi access point, and literally I couldn't do anything. Great.
Killed my Wi-Fi access point.
So that was fun. So anyway, welcome to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Hello, everybody. Right, who have we got on? So obviously we've got joined by Matt and by Carl. We've got Paul joining us. Hello, Jerry. Hello, non-fam. Few people watching us. Few people probably trying to figure out why on earth we took so long to do everything. So apologies about that.
And because you set up the stream, Mike couldn't go live.
Yeah, tell me about it, mate. Honestly. What a nightmare. Right, so the V0 theoretically is working. So I'm just now testing to make sure that I can home, which I can, and we are going to be putting on a test print.
Sorry, guys.
Is that your dog or is that a dog around here?
It's Matt's dog.
That's your dog. Just looking to see.
Lou is sadly not here right now, so I miss her.
You miss her?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That sounds a lot like she's left.
No.
Like she's left forever.
No. She's just at her place and I'm in my place, and I had to do some work and I'm falling behind, and
it's her
normally
fault.
she babysits the dogs when I'm talking to people like you and everybody else out there, and now nobody's here except me. The dogs think they can run wild.
They can run wild.
Yeah.
They're free range.
I'm surprised your dogs can even run, Matt.
Oh no. One is 14.
Big dog syndrome.
I got elephant hunting dogs. Okay. Come on.
Right, let's try that again, shall we?
One carriage. Okay.
So, Carl, what are you working on?
Can you make? I'm not sure if it's working.
Yep.
We
Yep,
can,
cool.
but it's a bit like listening to you in the 80s. It's all robotic, and there's a chance
Hold
you might
on.
be molested.
Let me mess with this. My
Oh, dear. Everybody's having problems.
I'm not. I'm fine.
is that better?
Yes, yeah, yours is fine. Matt, how's your stuff going?
Yeah.
What's your latest lithophane? Because you've not written anything else, surely.
Yeah, no, just this one.
Hi, George's Gaming Guide. Hi, DGK9. Brilliant.
There you go. That's my latest project, what I finished. This came out really nice. And of course, I made a surprise for you. Hold on, let me find the light. There you go.
Hold on, let me make you big. Very cool. So, I have got questions. How did you get the extra colours in the end? Because you were having all sorts of issues before with the colours, weren't you?
Yeah.
So what did you do in the end?
Well, I contacted you and asked for an original picture.
So was it
Because-
just that you were working off of a low quality picture, or did you actually do something different? It was just the picture quality.
Yeah, just the picture quality. Picture quality is so important. So if you have a picture from the 80s and you try to turn it into lithophane, you can do it, but it doesn't come out really well. It more come out like this, this type of quality.
Right. Okay.
So
It's interesting because whilst I thought picture quality would make a difference, I don't know. I suppose I know you can't turn a bad picture into a good picture, right? I get that. but I'm surprised that it makes that much of a difference to like the color and things like that.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, there's so many different things. I think the resolution is the most important thing now, especially printing with 4K resolution.
Yeah.
Really. So it's just bombastic. I mean, just the way it comes out. I have no flaws in the pictures, no layer lines. It's just like a picture you print out, out of a regular printer.
I'm just saying, we know which one of us is Matt's favourite.
No, you both are my favorites.
Matt's favourite. There we go, Carl. Can you hear us now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Cool. I've been doing some EONO filament, testing it, the silk.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the silk.
I got 4 250-gram rolls. So this is a white silk. Come out quite nice.
4 250-gram rolls.
Yeah. In a nice little box as well.
Why wouldn't they just give you a kilo?
Well, it added up to a kilo.
Oh, is it all different colours?
Yeah, so I've got 4 of them to try, mess around with.
They do like a silk pack, don't they? Where they're 250-gram rolls, but they do it as a pack.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that.
There's a few. It comes in this little box.
Oh, okay.
So
that's nice, Matt. I like that. Why is only one side coloured?
This was my test tube.
Oh, okay.
Because before I print big, I mostly print a small little picture before I print big. So I know it's a little bit waste, but that's the only waste I have. And if it comes out good, sometimes the people get a second piece of it. So.
And then I've been doing some clock spring daisies.
Yeah, that came out nice.
So I did this one on the Ender 7. Just in a black EONO, I think this one is. So that came out quite nice. I got a Galaxy Red. Probably won't come up very well, but it's got glitter in it.
Yeah.
They look bigger in your pictures.
Hold on a minute. So this is at 150.
Right.
You said this is every night. Send you a picture. Looks bigger.
Matt, have you ever seen that episode of Father Ted when they're looking at the caravan window and it's like, this cow is small, then ones are far away?
Yeah.
That's our picture.
So 150. Then I went to 250. This is EONO Silk Gold.
Yeah.
And then just to top it off, I got a Filament or Sunlu brand and went for 510 in size.
Jesus.
So,
all right.
Wow.
It was 90 hours.
Is that still a point? Is that still a 0.2 layer height, or is that thicker?
0.2, yeah. 0.2.
Still a 0.2. Jesus. All right.
But the detail in it, it's come out really nice.
Yeah.
So so that's been fun. Didn't sleep much for 90 hours. But no,
sleep?
Hi, Coma Mods.
I got about, I think it was about just over 600 grams it used for that.
I've stopped caring when I have like 90, 100-hour prints.
Yeah, I have to say. I mean, the problem is a lot of our prints run for 3-4 days in some cases. So
well, that base I did for the Gladiator, that was 4.5 days.
Right. It's quite long.
Quite long. It's not even big.
Why don't you show the base you've just done?
Printing some pumpkins.
So this is for the Russell Crowe Gladiator from Gambody. So this is like a broken down Colosseum.
So is that original size or is that
175%?
175. Nice.
Because it's the biggest I could fit it on the Sidewinder.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so for those who are wondering why we're not using the BLV cube at the moment, we've managed to break one of the belts. So we need to use...
Stretched the belt.
Stretched it, sorry. So we have to... So with the BLV cube, because of the speeds that it goes and because of the torsion strength that it's under, we have to use fiberglass reinforced belts. But the belts that we originally bought, they aren't. They're just normal rubber belts.
And I did a few prints on it.
Yeah.
And then one of the belts stretched.
Yeah.
So we replaced the belt, and then it stretched again. And then we replaced it with a reinforced belt, and it was fine. And then the other
belt stretched. Yeah, then the other belt did it. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal, but it is what it is.
But I did the first part of the armour, and I've got to say, on the sidewinder,
gates are expensive. So, Jerry, you're not wrong. Gates belts are expensive. And to be honest with you, it's the reason why we didn't originally buy it. We didn't originally buy Gates belts because they are expensive. And to me, I've replaced multiple belts on multiple machines, but it's normally due to just general wear. So, like, eventually after time, the sides get frayed, or they're not, the belts aren't very defined or whatever, and they start to slip. So you replace them. I don't know that I've ever had a belt that's actually stretched.
Yeah, and it's done it like 3 times, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, it's done it after sort of three or four prints on the printer. So it's not even like, it's not like the belt is old, and it's not like it was a belt that we just had lying about. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a belt that it was a belt that we had.
We bought for it.
It was a belt that we bought for that. But yeah, it's just the tension on those parts is obviously enough to mean that it stretched the belt. So yeah, so we need to get the Gates belt hasn't stretched. So we'll just have to get more Gates belts, really. Another 3 meters of Gates belt. 6 meters, near enough, for belts on that printer. Hi, Lou.
Hey, babe.
Jerry, I can't remember. Did you get You've got a hypercube, but did you get a rat rig? I can't remember if you did.
Oh, he didn't get a rat rig.
He didn't. No, all right, fair enough.
I don't think.
Well, because the only reason I ask is that again, the rat rig, I would imagine, would come with Gates belts, because that's the nature of the kit. Right? Okay, no, you didn't. Fair enough. I knew that you had something, but I think it's a hypercube you've got, isn't it? Is it a hypercube or something? Anyway, but yeah, you are right, and it just goes to show that there are times where cheaping out on stuff just doesn't work. There's certain things.
Mike, why are you watching yourself?
You're what?
He's watching himself in the background. That's like a little Mike in the background.
It's like a little pervert, Mike.
Perfect.
I just love the fact that he's just sort of peeking in the side of the camera. Like,
it's got the same facial expressions as is on camera now.
Is that your little statue? What you did?
That's Mike's only expression. That's why.
Yeah, miserable.
Yeah, he's only got one.
Looking good.
He hasn't got any. I'm at home with a friend. I need to
miserable
take them home
or asleep. They're my 2 expressions.
Oh, so Louise will just drive anybody about then. It's not even like special trips with Matt. Oh, that's how you get the herpes, Matt. You want to be careful.
Oh.
Just having random people in her car, just driving them about wherever they like.
I'll tell you what.
Can you get it twice?
Tell you what that little Mike looks like. The geezer who had the jeans on in The Mandalorian. Have you seen it? Right, so in the first series and the second series of The Mandalorian, there was a mistake in filming, and as it pans round the camera, you can see a geezer standing there in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, but only half his body standing behind like a bit of the wall. Everyone, he was named Jeans Guy, and like people have made action figures of Jeans Guy and things like that and put them in the Star Wars packaging.
Oh, okay. No, I don't remember him.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and look now.
I was going to say.
Just put it in YouTube. Put it in YouTube and it'll show you the clip.
Okay.
Just put Mandalorian Jeans Guy.
Jean Guy Mandalorian.
So the first thing I'll say about this is that the temperature on the bed and on the hot end is dead flat. So it is fluctuating between 200.01 and 199.9. Like it is the line is
speed
just
are you doing now?
Well, would be on, but I'm eating some spicy Indian food. Oh, we'll give yourself 5 minutes, Matt. So
put your toilet roll in the freezer.
Yeah. So in the slicer, I'm doing 250, but on my machine limits, I've just checked, and my machine limits are limited to 200 millimeters a second, and I've only got 2,000 on acceleration. And in a small machine like this, 2,000 acceleration is not a lot. So I'm going to need to, once this is finished, I'm going to need to whack that right up so that we can start to see how we can push some of this.
So when it goes faster, you know, the speed, do you have to increase the hot end temperature? Because on the Ender 7, I have to.
Well, the honest answer is I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
maybe
you've got
you're pushing for a lot more material.
Yeah, you've got to melt filament faster, so I would imagine that is the case. But I mean, it's printing right now on 200 degrees, so it's not like
I'm between 225 and 235. You know, for like just for PLA,
right?
Because if I go any slower, it kind of clogs up a little bit,
right?
And it's quite violent. The extruder is quite violent when it's going at stupid speeds.
So your acceleration must be relatively high, I would have thought.
Oh yeah, I put a few zeros on the end of it.
Yeah.
But saying that, when I did the benching in like 47 minutes, I was quite pleased with the quality of it.
Yeah.
And it was actually with that, you know, the filament I won in your giveaway a couple of months ago from the English company.
Was that Iono?
No, was
it? It was
Print Me, Ecoline.
Oh, okay, and that's printed quite nicely with it.
Yeah, I used the orange one. It came out quite nice.
Good.
Because the first few layers, it's hard to tell, you know, because it's quite transparent until it gets a few more. But it came out really well, actually.
Yeah.
I've still got the lime green one. I haven't used that yet.
Someone have these at like 1,000 millimeters a second. So I don't know if it was this. So there is a machine that I have seen printing at 1,000 millimeters with like 10K acceleration. But
I'll send you a link now, James, to it. It's exactly the same.
Oh, is it? It is this.
Yeah.
Is it? Fair enough.
I'll send you the link now because I'm on YouTube. You know, like a heat camera. Show the distribution of heat.
So
stuff like that.
must be using a high flow hot end though to be printing that quickly. Like he must be. So this is just a standard hot end, right? So again, we've said before that so previously the sort of there we go. So previously, when you were buying a printer, a 3D printer, what really mattered was quality, right? But the focus has really shifted over the last sort of 6 months to a year, where it's no longer just about quality, because you can buy really most modern 3D printers and the quality out of the box is really very good. It's sort of shifted towards it's shifted towards speed. So things like the Ender 7. I mean, the Ender 7's doing sort of 250. Did you flash Clipper in the end? I can't remember if you did. To your Ender 7, Carl?
Not yet.
No? Do you plan to?
No. It's something I'm thinking about, you know, for like during the winters, you know, the dark, damp, wet months.
Yeah.
It's been contemplating. I think it's worth a try.
Yeah, it is going quick, isn't it?
Have you seen the cooling fans he has on the side?
Right,
You know, to cool the filament for that speed.
So this reminds me of the VZ bot. So the VZ bot, let me see if I can find it.
Send us a link, Carl.
It's in the private
put it on
chat,
private
Mike,
chat.
in the thing. So
he's done a few videos, you know, with it.
Yeah,
you know, just messing around, tinkering, and it's a pretty good, decent bit of
so
kit.
that one is the so there's a printer that's come out called the VZ bot, and I'm not really sure what it's based off of, but I know the frame that he has is it's a Tronxy X5SA frame. It's a big machine that he's done. I think it's about a 400. I think it's about a 400 by 400 cube. Like, it's a big machine, and he's printing at like 1,000 millimeters a second with 10K acceleration. Like it's insane how quickly he's printing. It's insane.
This one's 50K acceleration. That is ridiculous.
Like, it's mad. The guy who's doing it, and his one, the reason why I mentioned that is he's got two big radial fans down the bottom, and they blow up into these big ducts, and these ducts just blow out the top. But
he's got the similar fans to that link I sent.
Yeah, very similar too. And it's literally that he can't have it on the hot end. Just doesn't work.
Yeah, because on the link I sent, he's got you know, like a compressed air gun.
Yeah.
And towards the end of his benches, he was actually cooling it down, you know, with that, you know, for like the top of the benchy, because otherwise it's got to be a certain
his hot end is running at 310 degrees.
Jesus.
And a 0.1 layer height.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this VZ bot guy, he's doing some smoke. He's got a video doing some smoke tests on this big thing. And again, he must be running some pretty high temperatures just to be able to push filament through at that speed. Think how big your melting area has got to be just to be able to heat, to soften, push through and heat filament quick enough to print at that speed. Like, it's got to be going at an insane pace. I'm going to stop this one.
That was ABS E-Sun Plus he was doing it.
Yeah, it was ABS.
Jesus.
Oh, the bed level's bang on. Now we're just going to need to take that infill down a bit.
There you go. He's done a benchy last month in 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
Good Lord.
Ridiculous.
He's got TPU at 300 millimeters a second here.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, that was mad.
He's got some big cojones.
Yeah, he must have to carry his nuts around in a wheelbarrow.
He's got a Nova hot end speed test as well. Oh.
Yeah, so that's a custom design that he did as well. So he's got an orbital up the top, which is actually what's on this.
That's nuts.
It's not healthy what he's doing. I think we can agree that. Like,
I mean, but
especially ABS. You don't want to be inhaling that, do you?
No.
But I'm guessing at 300 degrees, it doesn't exist anymore.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
It's burnt everything. He's got rid of COVID on the bed. That's nuts. I'll have to watch them videos later, actually.
Yeah, the VZ bot is very, very impressive. There's a lot of people I 1977 all out. Okay.
All out.
Yeah, there's some crazy people doing stuff at the moment, but I find it very interesting that almost everybody who's doing anything sort of remotely interesting these days is doing it all in a Core XY. They're not doing it in they're not building Cartesians anymore. They're doing almost all of it in a Core XY format.
What I have found interesting as well is the fact that he chose just as nasty a colour as I did for his one.
Yeah. Oh, it's me, Vincent.
Shop
Oh,
at the
hello,
same,
Vincent. Sorry, I didn't realise. Hello, Vincent.
You must shop at the same supermarket, you two.
Yeah. Although, in my defence, what that filament looks like on a roll is completely different from what it prints like.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it prints.
On the roll, it was like a bronze colour, like goldy bronze.
Yeah.
Really nice. But it printed like a baby's nappy.
Yeah, it's brown.
Well, this is what I did the big vase in. So it's a red copper.
Yeah.
And it
looks orange more.
It's a bit more of an orange, but once it's warmed up and melted, it's quite nice.
Matt, have you had a crack at doing any of your lithos in grey yet?
Nope.
Because we were talking before, weren't we? That apparently, I can't remember who was saying it. We were on Matt's stream, Matt, or we were on a Kumamod stream, and they were saying that that if you print in a grey, it can actually make your lithos pop a bit more.
Yeah, I hear that, and I will try that. And some people even recommend do a mixture of 50-50 mix or 25-75 mix of white and grey.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting, though.
So,
well, I've done some lithophanes in PETG the other day, actually.
Nice.
I've only ever done one lithophane.
Yeah, I did Matt's elephant one he's got on Thingiverse. So that came out quite nice. I'm surprised with the PETG as well.
What speed are you printing that? What speed are you printing that now? It looks a lot quicker.
Yeah, it is a lot quicker. So, I whacked everything up in Cura. So the print speed's still 250, but the wall speed's 180. Top surface skins are 120. Travel speed is 300. Everything else is 120. But in the machine settings, and it's defaulted back, I think. So maybe I have to change that in the printer config instead then, rather than changing it on... there's like a machine limits tab. So perhaps I've got to change it on the printer config in Clipper. That is quicker, but it can definitely go quicker than this because the velocity is currently set to max out at 200. So let me figure out how you change that.
Yeah, because I did Matt's lithophane on the Ender 7, just as a test, to see if quality was lost at higher speed. And I was around 150 millimeters a second. And it came out all right, didn't it, Matt?
Yeah. It came out pretty all right.
The reason I've never done any lithophanes is because I've never had any white filament.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't.
Girls.
We always buy black filament.
That fast.
Black or grey?
It's going to shake apart. My Ender 7 is like an earthquake when it's going.
We usually have black, and if they haven't got black, we take grey.
No, I think I only had 5 or 6 different colors. I had gold.
Timori filament so far. That
copper.
Looks good. Grey does do more detail. At least it's easy to see. Yeah, so it's interesting you say that, Matt. So, so the grey does more detail. At least it's easier to see stuff. I don't think grey does do better detail. I just think you don't have to prime it to bring out the detail. Whereas what I will say on our models is we've had stuff that looks like it's printed absolutely amazingly in FDM in black, and then you prime it and you can suddenly see all your retraction lines. And it can be It can be really annoying. And all out. Sorry, Vincent. The Timori filament. I'll be honest. I found it very, very similar to Giant Arm, to Iono filament, and to Eriwan filament. All of those. I've tested all of them, and they all performed exactly the same. And the only thing that was different was the
What tank is that, Matt?
I was going to say, what is it?
100.
It's a little tank. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to do some miniatures yesterday. It only took 3 hours to do.
Can't really hear you, Matt.
Iono filament
standing completely outside of your microphone.
I really like Iono filament, especially the PLA Plus.
Yeah.
The PLA Plus is excellent.
I've been using their Pet G loads, and it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't store it properly, and it prints perfectly every time.
It's the shiniest filament I've ever used. Once it's printed, it's so shiny.
Yeah, that was done in on the Ender 7, Iono Black. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's got a nice little glow to it. But I never have a problem with that filament at all, that brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I quite like Sunlu at the moment as well. Some of their filaments are quite nice.
This Gladiator I'm doing is all Sunlu filament. They sent me some to review. So this Gladiator's all been done in Sunlu PLA Plus.
Yeah. I think I've had some of that PLA Plus.
I do want to print in transparent green. I want to print. And I want to mix it in a little bit with the white together. Just to get a hint of green in it. I wonder how that turns out. Because in the next couple months I'm going to get another resin printer I'm going to buy.
Yeah? What are you going to get?
A small one. Because I need one for like doing little models or something like that. I want to do, like the tank models. I don't need a big one, So
right, but are you going to get what? You're going to get like a little photon-sized one, or are you going to get a? Are you getting a little photon size, or are you getting sort of like, I don't know, Saturn size, or?
No, I think small one like mono, the small one, the small.
Right.
One.
Okay. Fair enough.
So,
yeah. So I was going to say, yeah, as Matt's just said, the Vauxhall Lab Proxima is probably the cheapest and best you can buy in that class right now. I've only been using Iono since I won the giveaway. Great looking filament. Looks better than the Silky from Sunlow. Yeah, so I don't disagree, Paul. The Iono filament does come out really, really nicely. I've really liked it. The problem that we have, and it's something we covered in the so we just did a review on this stuff, the 3D Tomorrow's Bio PLA, and this prints almost like Pet G, this stuff, but without it's not temperature sensitive. You print it exactly the same as you print PLA, but it's UV resistant. It's got a higher temperature resistance, but weirdly doesn't print at a different temperature. I don't really understand. The problem is that this print, this is like £35 a kilo. Wow. And for the eSun that we use right now, we
there
pay.
Was a mistake in filming, and as it pans round the camera, you can see a geezer standing there in a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, but only half his body standing behind like a bit of ball.
I don't know who's watching the video back, but I'm going to go out and live and say that's Carl. There we go. Oh no, it was Matt. There we go. Brilliant. Yeah, at £35 a kilo, you have to have an application for this. Like, you have to have a reason as to why you're buying it.
So, like the war rig I did, we printed it in that. I think I used, was it 16 kilos?
Yeah.
At £35 a kilo.
I managed to make it print faster. Wait for it. It's going faster now.
It was so fast, it scared Carl off.
Because not Carl clean off the stream. That's how quickly it's going. So with this might be a bit fast, but this is now at 6,000 accelerations, 6,000 millimeters a second on the acceleration. So we'll see how this cube comes out, and we'll see what it does.
Yeah, because we'll be able to see whether we'd need to raise the temperature or.
Yeah. I mean, it's printing at 210 at the moment, and it seems to be doing all right. Got a little splodge on the. No, that's not coming off. All right, fair enough. Oh. It's gone really slow for that bit, hasn't it? Look at that.
The walls are still on 180, aren't they?
No. Inner walls and out. Oh, yeah, inner walls and outer walls are at 180. But that's slower than 180.
Yeah. Or is it just look slow because of how quick it was just going?
Hold on. Let's have a look. Is there something in here that slows it down? No, that feels slow.
That's slow.
It is slow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the travel speed isn't.
No, I'm just looking. I suppose so, yeah.
So the top and bottom surface skin, it's meant to be doing at 120. The walls, it's meant to do at 180, and but the overall print speed and the infill speed is meant to be 250. All right. Well, we'll leave this one to go, and we'll see. Apologies, my AirPods went dead. Right. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Paul, as I say, I mean, and there's the same issue with the Iono filament that we have, right? Which is that Iono filament is like £24 a kilo, I think. Is it, Mike? 24?
I think so. I think the PLA Plus we were
something
using
like that
was about 25.
And then, but then the eSun that we're getting, we're paying like £14 a kilo for our eSun.
And that's a massive difference when you're doing a model which could use up to sort of 10 kilo.
Yeah, and it does make a huge price difference. Like, as I say, as Mike said, like, how many for your war rig you used? What, 16 kilo?
I think it was 16 kilo. I can't remember.
16 kilo, and we were using Sunlu then. We were getting Sunlu at the time at £10 a kilo because we were buying in batches. We were buying in 10 kilo batches. So the war rig cost us, or more specifically, cost Mike like 170 odd pound in material, and then whatever in paint and everything else. If he'd have done that in Iono filament, then we would have been looking at more like £300 or £400.
Yeah,
and that's a hell of a lot to invest in something that you didn't even really want.
I'm trying to get rid of.
Yeah. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. So so I don't know. I mean, everyone has the debate, right, between should you get quality material or should you just tune your machine to work with cheaper materials? Like Matt, so you use G-Tech filament, which you get at a fair price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I not hear you?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. Fair.
Yeah, I was nicking. I just wanted to say something.
It's.
I get one about G-Tech. Depends how much they get into the country.
Right.
I can get it sometimes between £12 a roll to like £16 a roll.
Right.
So sometimes I do get some samples for free. So, or I get my project sponsored by them, and then I get free filament, of course, for my projects. But mostly a private filament.
See, I will say that's one thing that, generally speaking, we don't actually get that much of. So we got some free Iono filament for the competition, and we got it for Mike's Mammoth. And we've had that 3D Tomorrow filament for free. And Rep Rapper want to sponsor a model, although we're not sure what model yet.
And the Sun Lu, which I'm doing now.
Yeah, and the Sun Lu one. But other than that, we don't really. We've actually had more printers than we've had rolls of filament, which is an insane statement to make. But someone's more happy to send the channel a free printer than they are to send us a couple of rolls of filament.
We're not getting the switch wire now.
That's true, yeah. So the switch wire dream is dead. Unfortunately, we're not getting the Voron switch wire anymore.
We nearly got it. It was really close.
Oh, it was so close. So
one of my projects, what I got sponsored from GTech.
What is it?
It's a book. It's a book cover.
Of what?
Of this person's book. Of William Joseph.
Okay.
He's an author, and he came to Tales on Tuesdays. And twice a year they have like an awards night, and I do the cups for them. And GTech sponsors me for doing them, and I put the GTech logo on the bottom.
That's cool.
So. Yeah,
so yes, as I say, we've got.
So the switch wire.
The switch wire.
It was so close. It was outside his front door, slightly.
Yeah, it's outside my front door twice.
Yeah.
So basically, so the switch wire kit, if I remember correctly, is about £350, right? It's effectively a how would you describe it? Effectively, it's a Prusa on steroids, right? So it has all the same features. It's auto bed level and everything else, but it's all linear rails, and it is also a Voron, right? So it's built by the same guys that made this. UPS turns up at the door, and
but we paid the shipping for it.
We paid the shipping for it, yeah. So I think it was only about £100 to have it shipped over. We were like, yeah, fine, it's going to be a good printer. We'll pay the shipping. Came over. UPS guy knocks on my door. The UPS guy knows me at this point, which is sad, but I'm friends with him. Hi, Arif. And he says, oh, you've got duty to pay on this one. And I was like, all right, fair play. You know, they sting you every now and again. So
he was expecting like 60, 70 quid max.
Yeah. So bear in mind that the printer, the actual cost of the printer is 270 odd quid. We didn't pay that, but regardless, that's the market price of the printer. And we paid £100 in shipping. So £377 if you include everything. So he says the invoice is for quite a bit. I said, well, how much is quite a bit? And he went, well, it's quite a bit. So I open it up. It's £1,500 in import tax. I said, you jog on, mate. I'm not paying that. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, he said, is something wrong? And I said, yeah, the printer isn't even worth that. So then I looked at the invoice, and the Chinese forwarder that Funsaw had used had listed the price of the machine as something like £9,567. So I was being charged about £1,400 in VAT, and then like a £35 handling fee, and some £1,500 order a container. Well, and therein lies the point. So I can only assume that they had like an overall, like they were shipping out a bunch of stuff, and maybe they put the total amount on rather than the individual cost. But whatever. Went backwards and forwards with UPS. No help. Wouldn't deliver the item. Wouldn't change the value, despite the fact that I had an invoice saying how much it was worth. wouldn't do anything. So they literally just oh, there's Carl. Hi, Carl. So they literally just messaged the sender and they just said, yeah, we're destroying the parcel. I wasn't willing to pay £1,500 for something that's only worth 270. And it was more
I think it's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, and it was more expensive to have it shipped back. So they just destroyed the parcel instead. And yeah, we reached out to them again. They said, yeah, we're not resending it because we sent you a machine and we haven't got anything for it, and now it's going to be destroyed. So we're not resending it. So now we don't get a switch wire.
That is
which I think
crazy.
Is very unfair.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have the set.
It would have been nice to have the set, actually, yeah. Because we've got the 2.4. UPS took it home. Do you know what, Jerry? It wouldn't even shock me. I mean, it wasn't in a branded box, right? But on the invoice, it did say that it was 3D printer parts. So I only hope that it breaks if someone takes it home. I hope that it's really terrible.
Well, they'd have to
and
work out
his television sound is always 3 seconds out of sync from this day until the day dies.
They'd have to work out how to build it, and seeing as they've probably never built a printer before, good luck with that.
Well, yeah. Ship a Vauxhall Lab Proxima from the USA to the Netherlands. I can get 3 from Amazon shipping cost. Yeah. So, Louise, to be fair, I don't have an issue paying an import charge. I don't have an issue paying that. I expected an import charge.
It's just that the shipper, it was their mistake.
The shipper listed the value of the item incorrectly. And there's no way to have that value updated, even though the seller was saying, here's an invoice, and they sent that through to UPS. And then they gave me that I sent it in as well. They didn't make any difference to UPS. They didn't care.
UPS
so it's not the import process, and it's not even the higher cost of shipping at the moment, because shipping is more expensive to get stuff here. It was literally that the shipper put the wrong information on the form, and now I can't. Now it's been destroyed. That's what annoys me even more, because it's like, well, if it's going to be destroyed, just deliver it. Well, what difference does it make?
Well,
don't make any difference.
You're allowed to pay £150.
Yeah, it's like you could have just given me. You could have just given me the printer, and then we could have all just forgotten about it as collectively. It didn't matter, but now it's just going to be destroyed. So it's a waste, just a massive, massive waste. It's very annoying. It might end up on John Pye. Arif, again, that wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all. I don't know that, again, it's a generic looking box. So, I mean, so to give you an example of how some stuff turns up here, this with just Ender 3 Pro written on the outside of it, this is apparently my linear rail kit, which doesn't have linear rails in it at the moment. Oh, bye, Matt. So yeah, like it's just frustrating because it was so close. It was going to be such a good machine. Oh, there he is. Oh no, he's gone. All right. It was going to be such a good machine. I was really looking forward to building that, and now it's just going to be destroyed for no reason, for a clerical error.
Yeah,
just wasteful.
I've had companies email me saying, you got to pay £150 and all this, and I just, you can argue with them, but they're not going to change their minds, are they?
Yeah.
What's
ridiculous?
When we had the GoFu delivered, so
yeah, that was a lot.
GoFu is like £1,200.
Yeah.
So that's what was on the invoice. With UPS, I'm on the last sort of maybe 10 jobs on the list. So if they're running late, they just bypass them all, go to a dry cleaners down the road to me, and just drop all the parcels there. Well, I just so happened to notice that it said it was going now. No, sorry. I was coming back from somewhere and I see the UPS van outside the dry cleaners. So I thought, right. So I pulled over, said, "Are you dropping off a parcel for me?" Or whatever. He went, "Hold on, let me have a look." He went, "Yeah, it's a big one." I went, yeah. I said, "I'll take it now. I'll have it." Now, at the time, I didn't have my car. My car was in the garage. I had a courtesy car. So my car is an estate. Loads of room in the back. I had a Fiesta because it's the same sort of car. So he's brought this box out and it was big and it was heavy. I'm trying to put the seats forward and I'm trying to jam this box into the back of Fiesta. Well, as I'm fighting with it, he come out, he went, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I just noticed there's money to pay on this." I went, "How much is it?" He went, 277 quid. So, all right. So I paid him. Had I had my card, I put it in the boot, shut the door, drove off, and I wouldn't have to pay it.
Whilst you're here, guys, smash the like button, subscribe. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, definitely, guys. I mean, for anyone who's not already subscribed, which I don't think is anybody at this point, make sure you are liking and subscribing. We actually smashed 3,000 subs the other day, which was absolutely huge for us. So, I mean, we've
you did a little fart of excitement, didn't you?
I did a little fart of excitement. Yeah, it was my victory trump. And you could tell that it was a trump because a little wig came out and tiny little rat hands.
And also his hair blew up a bit like this.
Yeah. So, when we started the channel about 2 years ago, and on New Year's Eve we hit 750 subs, which, to be clear, we were made up about, right? We were so happy that we'd done that. And it meant that we could monetize, and it meant that we could sort of start investing a little bit more time in the channel and a few more people. And yet in 9 months, we've quadrupled that subscriber base. And that is all down to you guys, right? That is down to everyone who likes and shares our posts. That's down to everyone who religiously watches us, who watches me drop things pretty consistently. It's every time Matt comes in midway through a sentence. I
think half the people who watch us only watch us because they wait for something to go completely wrong.
Do you know, we saw when we had that 2,500 giveaway, and
the best start to a live stream ever.
Which
I don't care who you are or what channel you've got, ours was the best.
When we set off that smoke machine and that set off the smoke detector, and then then we all started to choke. And then you set off that freaking cannon, which I'm still finding bits of confetti lodged in different parts of the studio. Like, that was a nightmare.
It was the best 2 minutes to a live stream.
It was definitely an interesting start.
We had so many plans, and they just completely went out the window in about 4 seconds in.
Yeah. Right, Matt, what are you working on? Other than, I'm assuming, having to reinforce your toilet from what you've just eaten.
No, I'll be all right. I'm actually not really working on anything right now. Well, that's like super huge.
You were doing your Pokemon things earlier, weren't you?
Yeah. So I got all of them done. They're all cured. Some of them are here. Some of them are there. I need to still complete them, but I ran out of the resin that I was using. So I guess I can switch to a different one, but whatever.
But I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I hate doing that because, there are color differences between each and every resin, and that triggers me. So, yeah, the only other thing that I've been working on pretty diligently to get out today is I've been working on the Sonic Mega to have a fast printing profile, and I think I'm pretty good with what I got. I'm gonna run one more print on this to just be on the safe side, and then I'll publish it out. But basically, we took the same type of Pokemon print, and I put it on the Hellet Sky, and that took about 2 hours and some odd minutes to print. Which the Hellet Sky is very fast. Like that already has groom settings on it from the get-go. So I mean,
so just so I'm clear, sorry, when you go up in that speed, are you sacrificing something? Are you sacrificing?
Not with that printer, no.
No?
But in other printers, you will have to adjust other things to make sure that it is correct. But since the printer, all that is in the background, it's already set up like that. Like, you can't really change any of the lift speeds and things like that. You can only change a couple of things here and there on the screen, and that's it.
Right.
So it's kind of nice that it has that because, like I said, it's already at its fastest. So you don't really need to tinker with that in any way. It's just kind of like a print and go, and it prints very well. Like, I don't have any issues with any of my prints off that printer. But the big thing is the Sonic Mega, everybody complaining about how slow it is, which it is insanely slow. So like I said, it takes about 2.5 hours, give or take, on the Hellet Sky. Probably about 4 hours on a like Elegoo Saturn. And on the Mega, on stock settings, it took about 11.5 hours. So quite a lot. Let me just double check that before I say that.
And the reality is that so both Matts, you guys are actually using your machines to ultimately to make money. You know, you actually have you have workflow and you have customers and you have people who buy things. I think it's a little different for me and Mike because for the most part, we don't sell any of our prints, not really, and as a result, I don't know.
Unless you want to buy
this hasn't really been an issue for us.
Yeah, so that right there for me, speed does not matter. Like if it prints and it prints good, I don't care. Like I've never touched any settings besides the exposure settings on my printers until I got the Mega because everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's a monochrome screen. It's supposed to be printing fast, but it's like super slow," and it is very, very slow. But I did like comparison between the Frozen Transform and the Peopoli Phenom. And the Phenom, I think, came in at like 9 hours on Shitu Box profile. So that's about 10.5 hours, give or take, because, you know, there's usually that extra time that it adds in. And then, you know, the same thing with the Frozen Transform. It was at like 11.5 hours. So you're guessing it's about 13 hours or so on stock settings.
Right.
Like I said, I printed the stock one at 11.5 hours and I tweaked some settings, just minor settings, nothing like super major. It's more or less like the lifting distance and retraction, and that's it. And that's all I did, and I brought it down to 5.5 hours. So I shaved off 6 hours of print time just by tweaking a few settings here and there and made it to go faster. Now, will that kill the life expectancy of the printer? It's a good possibility, or at least the LCD screen, because
right. So you don't necessarily sacrifice anything in quality or layer adhesion, but you do potentially significantly increase the wear and tear on the machine.
Yes, absolutely you do. And that's one of the reasons like Frozen's machines are always slower than everybody else's. That's because they do a lot of rigorous testing on their machines to make sure those profiles that they give you right out of Shitu Box are the best profiles for the longevity of the parts on the printer. Now, that's not saying that you can't tweak it, because like I said, I tweaked that and got 6 hours off of the print time, which is amazing. Yeah. But it's still a lot slower than most printers. But for the size of it, I mean, I can't really blame it, because at what it's printing at stock is right about what it should be for its size comparing to everybody else. You know, maybe it's a slight bit faster, maybe like an hour faster I'd like, but I'm fine with that. Like you said, I don't, I'm like you, I don't care about time. I have more than enough printers. If I need to space them out across them.
It's just not something that's ever really I don't know, it's not something that's ever really bothered us that much.
Yep.
You know, because why would it, I suppose? You know, if something's going to take 2 days, then it takes 2 days. You know, that's just how long it takes to print.
Yeah. I don't have any specific, like, if somebody comes to me for a print, I just tell them, okay, this is what the print time's telling me. And I usually add X amount to that because I know the slicer is going to say one thing, but the print time is actually going to come out to be something completely different. That's how pretty much all slicers are that I've used. There's not one that's like right on the money or very close. It's usually like an hour off, in my opinion. But again, I don't touch those settings. Like the Viper over here, that's on stock settings. The only time I switched anything was to test out TPU, and that was just so I can print TPU. Other than that, nothing else was changed. No support settings, nothing. The same goes for all my FDM printers that I used to use. I took 3 different user profiles from people, and I basically smashed them all together of all the parts that I liked out of each and every one of those, made it a profile of my own, and just printed with that. I never touched anything else. And everybody's always asking me like, oh, well, what's this set at? What's that set at? I'm like, I don't know. I just took some things, entered in numbers.
I just did some stuff, and now the stuff's done, and now here it is.
If it prints, I don't care what the numbers say. Like, so it's funny when people ask me, because it's like, well, if I tell them I don't know, because I truly don't, it'll make me sound like I don't know what I'm doing, which in that term, I just don't care what I'm doing in there. As long as it works, I'm fine with it. Again.
So, for those who are watching, especially Paul, I have found why it slowed down so much. Under cooling, there is a setting in Cura called minimum layer time. And the minimum layer time was set at 15 seconds. So the minimum time spent in a layer. This forces the print to slow down to at least the speed, to spend at least the time set here on one layer. This allows the printing material to cool down properly before printing the next layer. Layers may still take shorter than blah, 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 blah. That's why. That was in Cura, and it's actually a cooling setting. So
I'll have a look at that then myself. Maybe that's why I could possibly get a bit quicker.
So I mean, there's definitely right. So I think that means I now need to go back to my speed settings and put them back to what they were, because I was going for some. Some pretty.
Like Matt was just saying there about getting the prints quicker on his resin printers. It'd be very similar, say, to the Ender 7. They don't know how long it's going to last and how much abuse someone's going to put through it. They say the linear rails could last 10 years, but if I change my acceleration with a few zeros at the end, is that a year's life?
Yeah, you got to think about that, because like the linear rails, all it is a guide on a metal rail. So obviously that's going to wear down with like the chafing. So I mean,
I think as well, I am going to put the material temperature up a bit. Just and then slice that. Yeah, because this cube took 27 minutes, and now I've changed that setting. It's coming out of 13 in the slicer. So that was the setting that was causing issues. I say issues. It was literally just trying to stop the thing from catching fire. But let's see how it does now. So I'm still printing at 250, right? I'm still printing at 250 millimeters a second. I've bumped my material speed up to 215. To be fair, so let's just go to here. Oh, hold on. There we go. So this here is
focus. There you go.
There we go.
Oh my
this is the cube. So you can see we've definitely got some roughness on the corners that we need to deal with. But to be fair, I mean, it's not horrendous. There's definitely some work that needs to be done, but we're going for speed. Is that my microphone going?
Any crackling?
Yeah, 1 second. I think it's the mic pack going. Yes, it is. Talk amongst yourselves.
Blah, blah, blah. Talk amongst yourselves.
What we're gonna talk about, huh? Can talk about anything.
I'm going for the pictures tomorrow night.
Pictures? What are you gonna watch?
What?
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King in 4K.
Ooh.
All right.
Super excited.
That's still making annoying noise, isn't
Don't
it?
they bring next year 8K out?
Yeah.
That's still making silly noises, isn't it?
No, but static.
Yeah. Let me try switching those.
Okay.
Anyone see the new Goofoo cube? Do you mean the little blue thingy? The little like turquoise and as someone who may get Matt herpes. Well, stop giving lifts to everybody, Louise. That's what I suggest there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Goofy released a video today of a 2-in-1 out tool head.
Okay, I think I might have gone too quickly. I think I might have gone too quickly.
Oh, now it's working very fast.
Ah.
Wow.
It's working now.
Yeah, it's quite strange, isn't it, sitting and watching it, with your own eyes.
I've actually got a present for you tomorrow, James.
For me?
Yeah.
It might be a new desk at this rate.
2 presents.
Now I'm
So what
curious.
acceleration's on that?
6,000. And I said the minimum layer time should be 2 seconds, which could be a bit bold.
So what's that calling one called? The actual title for it?
So under cooling, there's a setting called minimum layer time, and then the minimum speed. So the minimum print speed, despite slowing down, and then the minimum layer time. Mine was set at 15 seconds. So I was wondering why, no matter what I did to my speed settings, my time wasn't actually changing when I sliced in Cura.
It's changed now.
I just assumed it was Cura being Cura like. But what it is it's actually that it was calculating a minimum amount of time to do each layer, and it meant that it was staying inside of each layer at 15 seconds.
Yeah, mine's set at 10 millimeters a second now. Well, that's what stock is.
Well, this is going faster.
Yeah,
it is faster.
And I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, it's printing.
Does it actually, at that speed, is the actual frame moving, or is it quite weighted down?
That isn't. I mean, I can't even feel the vibration in it, to be honest with you. Like, you got to think that on this tool head, right? Because it's this little orbiter motor, there's really very little mass that's moving around. All the weight is going to be in the actual nozzle. But I mean, even here, I can't feel that. So it's not throwing itself around.
Because that is one of the things I've noticed with the Ender 7. When I
the wheel is turning really fast.
It shakes.
You mix water washable resin with regular to use it up. Shake. Matt, that's probably one for you. Have you ever mixed water washable resin with regular resin to use it up? Do they have different print settings, or will it wreck it?
No, because usually I just throw out water washable because I can't stand it.
Yeah, I like to find a dolphin and I pour it directly into its blowhole.
I have heard about that. A lot of people use Soraya Tenacious to strengthen water washable because water washable is insanely brittle. and so that's how they strengthen up the water washable. Which, if you're doing it at that point, there's no reason to be using the water washable, because the tenacious is far more of a potent resin than like an ABS resin, even, because it's a flex material. So it's got way more additives in it than any other standard resin that you would buy, besides like a model specific resin, because that has a flexible material in it. But
Right.
at that point, you might as well just use standard or ABS resin. There's no point. So yeah. But yeah, you can do that. Now mixing regular resin, I've not heard that, but I don't see why it couldn't. So, but as much as I hate to waste products, in my opinion, for water washable, I'm just gonna let it go. Like, I got some in there. If I print something and it happens to run out, then so be it. I'll show it off as it is. I don't care. But I'm going to try and use up that resin, and I don't care if the print fails or not, because it's resin that I could care less about. So
it's just, as I say, it's such a bad idea out of the gate anyway, and it's an even worse idea when you consider how it's currently marketed. It's so misleading. It's so poorly marketed.
Isn't it?
It's really bad. I really think that water washable resin is such a bad thing to promote across the board.
I agree.
It encourages people to think that it is somehow safe or non-toxic, or that it's all right for it to go down your drain, or that it's that it shouldn't be treated or handled the same way as regular resin should be. I think people take a lot of liberties with it. I mean, like you said, Matt, when they were advertising it, they were washing it under a tap, and it's just like, yeah.
When I saw that, my mouth just dropped, and I was like, "This is the reason why this is bad, because China just markets it, and they don't understand what they're doing, and it can be bad."
Do you know what it is, though? I don't even think it's that they don't know. I just think it's a significant lack of caring. They just don't care. They're not bothered. That's why.
There's
like so many other things that can kill you in China that I should imagine water washable resin getting into the waterways and into the ecosystem is probably doesn't even rank in the top 1,000. There's got to be 6 above it that just involve being beaten to death by the police. Like, it's
kidnapped by the army's got to be up there.
Yeah, being kidnapped by the army, having to live in a special thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's Matt reporting us straight to the Chinese government for bad mouthing them. We're never going to get any resin again.
Yeah,
Oh dear. Yeah, as I say, it's so Matt. What have you got coming up then? So you've got the Weebox print head on the way, haven't you? Same as we have.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since that, but we'll see how that goes.
That's because you replied to everybody, so I'm assuming they're shipping your one last.
Hey, I really don't care. It's not something that I'm going to be like, oh my god.
James is super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed about it. Can't you tell?
So I feel exactly the same way about this as I did about the Fucos printer, right? The Odin 5.
Yep.
However, the reason why I didn't like the Fucos is because it was marketed as a foldable printer. First of all, a feature that nobody has ever asked for. Secondly, it's only foldable if you remove 4 screws.
I was always saying I wish my
printers are foldable then. All printers are foldable if all you've got to do is remove 4 screws.
I was always saying I wish my printers folded down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There wasn't a day that went by where I went, I really like this printer. Do wish it folded though. Like it was a feature I've been crying out for a decade, and they finally did it.
It's like putting the printer to bed.
Yeah. Which I never do.
That's like Germans. You take them to bed to cuddle them, don't you, Matt?
That is true, yeah. And I suppose the folding nature makes it slightly easier to snuggle. I don't know.
His bed frame is actually made out of G-Tech extrusion.
Oh, I hope not, because it's bound to break if it is.
Matt, just be careful in bed. You might give them herpes as well.
That'd be a nightmare, yeah. Louise's friend brought them home. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the printer babies, you know.
That is how you get V0s. Go to bed with a Voron 2.4, and then in the morning you just got three little Voron zeros knocking about. What a nightmare.
Exactly.
And they all want filament.
They all want filament. Right, so that has finished. That was the slicer said it'd be 13 minutes. The print took 9 minutes.
Wow.
And
that's like a rare
to be clear about this, this is pretty awful. So I think the heat is actually too high for it. So I put it up to 215, and I think that's a bit too much. I think it's over baking it. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, like the surfaces on it really aren't that bad. Like that side is actually really good. So I might try putting the temperature back down a little bit, and I might just turn the acceleration down a touch. It does feel like
your belt need tightening or something, or is that just how it's going around the corners?
Yeah, it's going around the corners, so I can turn down. I could turn down the square corner velocity. So it's currently at 6. So let's put that at 5, and let's turn the max acceleration down to 5,000. And then let's go in here, and then go to material and turn that to 205. And we'll see how that does.
You know, Jerry, I'm reading your comment about the Melazon resin and them using it on Alibaba. I have a feeling that Wise Tech is wanting to do the same thing without telling me, because they messaged me about a video of stuff printing, and I was like, all right, cool. So I shot it, and I shot it just like this while it was printing, hood down and everything. And they're like, oh, it's not clear enough. I'm like, okay. So I open up the hood and I shoot another quick video while it's still printing, because I don't have much of that resin left. Like, I printed most of the guys out of it. Like, 500 milliliters of resin goes quick nowadays, at least for me, what I'm printing. But I sent them that video, and they're like, yeah, we need something even more clear like this. And they showed me something similar to it. But it's like somebody just like showing off a print. And I'm like, okay, what are you guys, trying to get at here? And then I read your comment, and I'm like, I wonder if that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Goofu did the same to us. So, Paul, about the new Goofu cube. The only new Goofu that I've seen...
Just have it like where it's on it.
So the only new Goofu that I've seen is the weird, like, cantilevered arm. Matt, you may still need to print something for me on the Mega. That's Vincent. I think he still wants to try and bag some Mega time.
Yeah, that's fine. I can print that for you. I know what you want. And you already asked me.
Yeah, so I've seen it, Paul. The problem is that, I mean, so I want to be really clear. I hate the Prussian Mini. I hate it for a lot of reasons. I hate it. I suppose really I dislike it because Joseph Proust is a third waffle. But at the same time, I also dislike the concept. It's small. Yeah, it is. It's smaller than this, Paul. And so Goofu are targeting education sector with it, right? The problem with targeting education sector is that, generally speaking, you need to have your machine completely enclosed so that you can't get tiny little child fingers into the sticky hot parts. And to be fair, Flashforge have actually done a really good job in that space of creating sort of education level machines that do exactly what they say on the tin, right? They're playing the game, right?
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to try and get one, and we'll take a look and see what it is. But you have to look at it in context of what it is. So to be clear, the last time I checked on the price for this on AliExpress, I think the V0 kit comes out at like £350, which I know is double the price of an Ender 3 or whatever. But I mean, you can see what this is doing right now.
Yeah, but with an Ender 3, you can print 3 times its speed on a stock setup.
No. You know, you're constantly upgrading it, you're constantly playing with it, you're constantly, you know, messing about with it and things.
And at the end of the day, it's got an Ender 3 tool head on it, which is crap, and you'll end up replacing within a few months.
Yeah, Vincent. So €1,000 for a Prusa Mark III is a lot. And to be honest with you, if I had the money and I was in Europe, I would be buying a rat rig all day. A rat rig is so, the V-Core models are so much more reliable. They are so much more versatile. They're so much more customizable. They're just fundamentally better machines than what Prusa currently offers. Prusas were absolutely brilliant 2 years ago, and since then they're now, you know, they're playing the same game that Gillette plays with its razors, where it just takes a bunch of words that men like, strings them together, and then calls it a product. So the next Prusa is going to be the Mach 3 Turbo Vibrate with power setting, and you know, and the difference is that it's going to come in blue or something like that.
I'm not going to lie, I haven't bought a razor in a long time.
But if you did, you'd buy the one that said Mach 3 Power Turbo Fusion Power.
I wouldn't need to, because every year at Christmas, my mother-in-law makes you like a stocking, and she puts shaving cream and a razor in it.
Yeah.
I've had a beard for 15 years.
I think he's trying to tell you something.
Years.
Yep.
Still buys it every year. I've got like stacks of razors and shaving cream in the bathroom. 15 years worth, to be exact.
Would you shave your beard?
No, I shave my balls with it.
Oh.
And he thinks of her while he does it.
Well, that's just nuts.
It's not, because I sprinkled hairs in her pillowcase.
Oh, come on,
and you wanted to go at me when I accidentally, on purpose, farted in my porch and locked my mother-in-law in there. And all of a sudden, I was a terrible person.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
I thought it was hilarious.
Not for a mother-in-law.
Stick in my letterbox.
Pretty much any punishment is fair game if it's mother-in-law.
Yeah. Yes.
Sounds like a love-hate relationship.
Exactly. Perfectly healthy.
It's just what I like to do. It's just one of the things that gets me through. If I'm having a particularly bad work week, I'll just think of different ways and different things that I can do to my mother-in-law.
Like when my mother-in-law has a bath when she's at home, she plugs a radio in the hallway and has it in the bathroom. Do you know how much willpower it takes for me not to just open that door and push it in the bath?
Oh, that's evil.
I have an insult table that I keep next to my computer, so that whenever I'm on a call, especially with work, because I'm super unprofessional, when I'm not on calls with Matt in the morning at least, I'm super unprofessional. So it's got 3 lines, and you just pick a word from each line, and you get a really cool insult, like an idiotic rectum Nazi. Or a tone-deaf boner monster.
That's nice.
Or a racist prick goblin. It's the only thing that I take with me to every job that I do. Like just stupid cock jockey. A pie-eating shart hound. They're just amazing. And after you've said them, half the time, people don't even really realise you've insulted them. Because they're still trying to figure out all the words that you said in that order as to whether or not they're all right. And at that point, we've moved on in the call and no one can bring it up. So I like to do that on calls with my mother-in-law. I'll just every now and again go, "You communist rectum hammer." She'd go, "What?" And I said, "Are you coming around next Tuesday?"
I thought we are like pet, PG-13 here or PG.
Oh, what do you like your mother-in-law? Do you?
No.
Bear in mind,
I don't know.
no.
Oh, my mother.
Louise is watching.
No.
Oh, that's bold. That is.
Truth is out.
That is. I mean, neither of our wives.
Yeah, I like her. I like her.
Our wives have actively said they opt out of watching this, so we've got free run.
Can we rewind that just to make sure we know what he said?
And the good news as well, Matt, is that this goes on to YouTube forever afterwards. So she can just look this up and have that as a ringtone.
And we will be telling her as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm bringing that up next time.
She just messaged me this moment.
I think you need to make it a YouTube short, that.
Yeah,
he doesn't have one yet. Well, he's not going the right way about it, Louise, is he? Saying that all your friends have got herpes and he doesn't like your mother-in-law. This is a terrible string from Matt.
Babes are picking on me. Give me a call so I can go out.
I feel like they were the words that came out of your mouth, Matt.
I didn't make you say it. It's your choices, Matthew.
I know.
I'm blaming the world for your problems.
I guess energy drinks doesn't work really well on me.
No.
I think it's a bit of a stretch trying to blame that can of Monster.
Why not? There's only one thing I can blame.
It is a horrible flavour, so yeah, perhaps it is.
Maybe it's the resin making you a bit loose-tongued.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, Matt. Maybe you can blame it on the. Maybe you can blame it on the
loose tongue.
Yeah, you can blame it on the fumes, I suppose.
Yeah, the white milk.
I mean, Matt Farmer just wanted a day off of work, so he poured it straight in his eyes.
That's right.
I don't even think he got the full day off either. I think he only got the morning.
I went in that day.
There you go.
Yep. I drove myself to the ER and everything. I woke my wife up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, "Hey, just letting you know, I splashed some stuff in my eyes. I'm just gonna go to the ER, just to be on the safe side."
Yeah, so that I have.
Oh yeah, the V-Core 3 is it's fantastic. I really love my Voron.
A few months ago, I drove myself to A&E and I had a dislocated kneecap.
See, there you go.
Unfortunately, it was the one leg that controls the pedals in an automatic car.
I just don't hurt myself.
Yeah, the rat rigs have got enclosure built now, haven't they? They're just going through the final parts of testing it.
Yeah, I mean, the Voron has one as stock. And to be honest with you, if you're building an enclosure for a Core XY, 60% of the work of you is already done. Like, it's not hard to put an enclosure on a Core X. It's already a box. Like,
yeah.
you just got to put size on it.
You just need to get a person.
The only caveat is when you need to build is when you need to build a hood for it. Well, it does dampen the noise a little bit.
So a couple of videos I was saying, they said if you're going to run it quick, you need the hood on because it's just too loud.
Well, I mean, we've had it on this whole time and it's not been that loud.
Okay, so since it's so loud, you know what you can do to improve that and get the best prints? You got to go out and get a Creality silent board, okay? That's the only way you're going to fix it.
That is the only way, yeah. Maybe I should take the tool head off and put a CR6 SE one on there.
There you go.
Why not put
then I could just heat my house at the same time when it catches fire.
That's why it's best to print at winter.
That was Tripod's one, wasn't it? Tripod's one that absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
fried his Raspberry Pi too.
yeah, this
Took
is
his
Raspberry
pie with
Pi.
it, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had mine. I did the review, and before I even did the review, my the admin of my group, he's like, "Hey, you know, are you going to use that CR6?" I'm like, "Probably not." I'm like, it's a reality machine. I don't want it here. And he's like, "Well, if you don't want it, I'll pay for shipping, and you can send it up here." So I did, and not even 2 months into it, he
already broke
replaced most of the machine.
Really?
Yeah, he replaced the extruder because it went bad. Now, granted, he put a lot of print time through it. I will
see you later, George's Gaming Guide.
See you later, man.
See you, George.
so yeah,
take it easy, George. But yeah, he replaced like the power supply. He checked all the wires, replaced the switch, anything that had a fire issue. He replaced that before he even started printing. But yeah, it's got a lot of different parts on it already. But again, that's one of the reasons why I like the Anycubic Viper, because I actually really like the CR6 SE, but that there's a reason for that. It's not technically a Creality made machine. It's made by whoever manufactures these machines, which there's like a whole slew of them coming out. And I believe the Focus Odin 5 is the same manufacturer that makes the Viper and the CR6S.
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. It's a nice machine. Like, as I say, I mean, so to be fair, when I first got it, I was like, yeah, I don't care about a foldable printer. Like, it's not a feature that I care about. But
it printed well.
It prints really well. So it's got a really nice direct drive. The direct drive that's in it is like a clone BitQ H2. It's not a Titan. It's more like a clone Hemera. Really, really nice.
I'm gonna be in trouble now.
You just got the whole family to watch it. That is going to be a quiet wedding, Matt.
Well done, Louise.
Yeah.
How did that cube come out?
Somebody let the dogs out.
James, how did that cube come out?
It came out passable, but
I don't know if I'm gonna go missing. Please tell the police about that.
Well, they could just watch
somewhere in the farm fields or somewhere.
They could just watch this video, Matt, and then when they watch it, they'll understand why you went missing.
They'll be like, "Oh,
I get it.
We understand."
I wasn't sure why I went missing, but I get it now. That's fair.
It's one of those unexplained murders, it'll be.
Yeah, one of the ones where they give up.
Yeah, I was the sheep.
I was going to say, Stephen, I was like, what is 000 plus minus 12?
I still don't know the answer.
Stephen was cleaning his keyboard and got a bit over exuberant. And caps. Hi, Stephen. Just shouting.
I'm a bit worried. What was he cleaning off his keyboard?
Who even knows at this point? Perhaps he was cleaning off what's left of Matt's relationship.
Thanks, mate.
It just so happens, just before we went live on this stream, I was watching a video of you know, like
Wasn't
Family
Matt
Fortunes.
saying something else horrible, was it?
No, you know, Family Fortunes in America. Was it called Family Feud? Oh, no,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With Steve Harvey.
With people who were giving answers where he was like, "Yeah, you're getting divorced."
I've watched a few of the blooper ones, and my favourite one was name something. Name something that comes with pork. And a guy said cupine, and he said, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, pork cupine." And he was like, Steve was like, what? Like, what? And he was like, "It's up there, Steve." It's like,
like one of the ones he said, one was on just now, is if you could give up one thing for a year and not have to see it again, what would it be? And the geezer went, "Wife."
There was one where it was.
Another one was name one thing. Name one part of your wife that looks better clothed, and the geezer went breasts.
Yeah. I love watching those Family Feud things. They're so funny.
Could you imagine if they did it in the UK? How many complaints people would be sending in?
Well, they do Family Fortunes, but
there was one where
the answers they give over there are insane.
Yeah, there was a one where a bloke and a woman went up to do it, and this woman had a really big chest and a low cut top on. And the people in her team were going, distract him. And her name was Holly. Distract him, Holly. And she was jumping up and down. And the geezer there was going, rah, rah. And his wife was looking at him as if to say, I'm going to murder you.
Oh, God. Right, with that, guys, I think that's proven that the V0 print, we're going to have to play about with the profile a little bit to see how quickly we can get it printing quality-wise. Obviously, we're not going to be printing on a normal day at sort of 250 millimeters a second, but it'd be interesting to see perhaps how it did a little vase or something like that, just to see how it does on consistent extrusion and things. I have really enjoyed working on this printer. It's one of those ones where it's been very frustrating because you assume that everything that goes wrong is your fault. And 9 times out of 10 it is. Although I will be clear that there's an Ender 3 board there's an SKRE 3 board in my bin at the moment that has nothing to do with me. It came broken.
And the 2 fans.
And the 2 fans. Yeah, and the 3 fans. So there were 2 fans that came with this. They were broken on arrival. I bought 2 spare fans, and one of those fans was dead on arrival as well. So I've got 1 part cooling fan in there at the moment, but the other one doesn't work, and it's not my fault. It just doesn't work. So I've gone back to Amazon to ask them to replace it so that I can get that.
What happened with the G-Tech?
No, it wouldn't happen with this G-Tech because there wouldn't be a fan on it. They've just drawn one on. Every time you turn it on, there'd just be a speaker and a man would be underneath just going, just desperately trying to pretend.
Blow on it.
And even then, it'd be like an asthmatic blowing a raspberry.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, thanks very much for joining us, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Don't get me started on an So thanks very much for joining us, guys and dolls. We're gonna end the stream there for tonight. We've got lots coming up on the channel. Don't forget, he hasn't been using the G-Tex for a few weeks. He's been too busy saving up hate for your family, apparently, Louise. So he's occupying a lot of his time. He can't get anything else done.
That's not true. Please don't believe him.
Sitting there raging out, just going, I just hate all of them.
There'll be death scenes on his lithophane soon, won't there?
Yeah. This
is for the mother-in-law.
Man, what's that new red color you use? Oh, that's just my blood.
Yeah. Don't worry, Matt. When you die, and I think we can all agree that's only a matter of time now, we'll make a lithophane tombstone for you. And we'll light it underneath all nice.
I want a pyramid. I want a life-size pyramid out of PETG, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely bury you with your G-Tex.
Next morning, Louise would have kicked it in half.
Yeah. We'll bury you with your printers because no one's going to want them. So it'll be nice. It'll be a really touching.
If we just lay him on the printers, it'll cremate him anyway.
Yeah, just leave him on all of them.
Hey, remember, guys, if I go in the pyramid, all my friends go in the pyramid too to keep me company in the afterlife.
A really nerdy Viking funeral.
A funeral pyre.
Yeah. Right. Thanks very much, guys.
See you, bye.
The Voron video coming out tomorrow.
Bye.
So definitely check that out. And we've got a few more videos coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So keep an eye on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you all very soon. Thanks for joining, guys.
See you later.